To Stamford Bridge then, Chelsea, who've lost their last two in the league against Liverpool, beaten at Crystal Palace last weekend before defeat at Galatasaray on Tuesday night in the Champions League. Commentary comes from Steve Wilson.
Close margins like last season, and that's the same for the last two games we've played. I think in both games we've created more chances, goal scoring opportunities than the teams we faced with Palace and Chelsea, but the truth is that we've only scored in both games one time, and our opponent scored in both games twice.
Willie, firstly, we just have to explain why we're speaking to you and not Enzo. That's because of the red card. Of course, he can't do the TV.
Yeah. Unfortunately, what happened, but we all understand the emotion of the game and the situation, the last second, how we score.
And so lovely to see a teenage boy, a young Brazilian kid, just so delighted with that winning goal. I mean, a massive moment for Estevao.
Not just for him, it's for the whole squad. With a very young squad that have to learn through games. And for Estevao, this moment will be unforgettable. For us, also, it's a really good moment.
Well, both these teams came into this one really needing a win. So how did Chelsea manage to exploit Liverpool down the flanks, Wayne?
I think Liverpool, it's a clear problem we've got in the right back area. And I think if you look at Bradley's come off twice in the last two league games at half time. They've tried Szoboszlai in there at times, and it hasn't really worked for him. And Frimpong was on the bench today and didn't get on. So they've tried three fullbacks in 7 league games. So I think Chelsea have seen that and they've exploited it. So I think if you watch here, Cucurella and Garnacho, they're in really good positions, and Bradley makes the wrong decision in going to Cucurella, and then you've got Maraska. You can see him telling Sanchez to put the ball in behind Bradley, which then it causes Liverpool a big problem. Konate gets dragged out of position. Conor Bradley's trying to recrow in the middle of the years, and ultimately it leads in him getting a yellow card, which I'm sure that was a big factor in why he got subbed off at half time. And again here, different players, but the same again. Szoboszlai gets dragged out into Cucurella. Now it's Gravenberch at centre back. He gets isolated. Now he's one-on-one with Garnacho, and then a little bit of care. Chelsea maybe have a goal. And then this was Mo Salah. I think he's with Cucurella. He has to stay with him because this was a problem. Chelsea can see that. They've exploited it. He's no interest in really tracking back. It's a lazy jog. Then he stops. Cucurella keeps going. And now from being together, there's a big 20-yard gap. And this was a problem all afternoon for Liverpool. And now the other side, it goes to Estevao. Salah again is in a position where he needs to get back and he needs to connect with his midfield players, but he doesn't. And Chelsea have got big overloads. Estevao sees that. Enzo makes a run in off the back of Szoboszlai now, where Mo Salah, I think he's not even close enough to shout to tell Szoboszlai. And then the winning goal. Again, Cucurella making forward runs. Salah's no interest in getting back. Van Dijk is with his man. Robertson's got his hands on his knees. I don't know if he's got a knock or he's tired. Estevao's in a good position at the back. Van Dijk leaves his man, tries to play offside, and Robertson is unaware of what's behind him, and Estevao gets the winning goal. So I think it was a big problem for Liverpool, not just tonight, but...
You know, you mentioned Salah there. I know you can basically get away with what you want when you're scoring 25 or 30 goals, but Salah has no interest in tracking back anyway. So what's the difference from him last season to this season, that they're not getting away with it this season?
I think last season they were consistent in the team, they were consistent in the midfield. They had the three in midfield, and they were very difficult to play against, and that helped. That midfield shuffled across and helped out a lot. Where this season they've played the two in midfield, they've had Wert in front of that, and today was the first time they've gone back to a three. So maybe it was a bit unfamiliar for the midfield this season, and it's took them a bit more time than they thought to fix that.
It was a really good game, and it got better and better as the game went on. And Chelsea were very impressive. Moises Caicedo, particularly so.
It was a gigantic midfield performance. It really was. It had absolutely everything. It had a bit of Frank Lampard. It had a bit of N'Golo Kante. It was just absolutely sensational. He covered every bit of grass that he could, and of course the goal topped it off. I mean, there's no goalkeeper in the world that's going to save this. But the way he makes and creates space for himself, they did this most of the afternoon. Has actually made it difficult for Liverpool's midfield to get near him. But that touch to get away from McAllister. And then the technique there, as I said, there's no one stopping that. The power behind that's incredible, and the direction of it is perfect. I said it just had everything, this performance from him. It had the goal, it had protection in front of his back four. Don't forget the injuries and suspensions that they've got, Chelsea. So they needed him in that midfield to stand up. The composure, not under pressure at all, to play the passes like that, then to set Chelsea on the way in the final third again, and then same again, protection, timing of the tackle was absolutely superb and spot on most of the afternoon, and then very nearly again he had the shot again. It's a decent save, but he's having the pop, and this is in the last minute of the game, basically protecting that goal again, or that win again, and he was just. It had everything. The midfield performance had everything from him, and that's not just today. That's all season, by the way, in midfielders. So it was almost near on perfect performance from a midfielder.
Maresca got 2 yellows, got sent off eventually for celebrating his second yellow, but you can't blame him, can you? A week ago, he was allegedly under a lot of pressure and might have lost his job had he not had a win in the Champions League midweek.
I know the laws and the rules, but come on, you've just scored a brilliant late goal. Your team has been superb for you under huge pressure, and he gets a yellow card for showing that emotion. I don't get it.